What if the sun disappeared for 24 hours? Imagine this. You wake up one morning and something feels wrong. The alarm clock glows faintly in the darkness, but outside, there's no sunrise. The birds are silent, the streets are dim, and the world's most reliable constant, the sun, has simply vanished. Not for a moment, not for a stormy eclipse, but for an entire day. What happens when the beating heart of our solar system disappears for 24 hours? The answer is more terrifying and more fascinating than you might think. The sun has been burning for 4.6 billion years, a colossal nuclear furnace fusing hydrogen into helium at its core. It accounts for 99.8% of the mass in our solar system and provides the light and warmth that makes life possible. Without it, Earth is just a frozen rock drifting in space. But here's the strange part. Despite being so familiar, rising every day without fail, we rarely stop to consider how deeply dependent we are on it. Ancient civilizations knew this instinctively. To the Egyptians, Ra, the sun god, was the very giver of life. The Aztecs believed the sun demanded sacrifices to keep shining. Even today, whether we're aware of it or not, everything, our food, our climate, our biology, is locked to the rhythm of its presence. So what if just once the sun broke its promise? What if it blinked out for a single day? The moment the sun disappears, nothing actually changes, at least not immediately. Why? Because light takes about 8 minutes to travel from the sun to Earth. For those last 8 minutes, Earth continues as if nothing has happened. Birds still chirp, planes still fly, and humans still go about their morning routines. But then, it happens. A sudden, global sunset. Noon in Paris becomes as dark as midnight in Antarctica. Streetlights flicker on in confusion. People stop in the middle of the road. Around the world, billions look up at the sky and realize something is terribly wrong. At first, the world enters what feels like a permanent eclipse. Cities glow with artificial lights, but rural areas plunge into a darkness few have ever known. Temperatures start to drop, not catastrophically yet, but enough to feel unsettling. Within 24 hours, the average surface temperature would fall by a few degrees Celsius. Crops that rely on sunlight for photosynthesis begin to falter. Solar power grids, which supply nearly 5% of global electricity, fail instantly. Panic spreads not just from the dark skies, but from uncertainty. Is this temporary or the end of the world? Governments declare emergencies. Stock markets crash. People rush to supermarkets buying food, batteries, and fuel. For the first time in history, humanity faces a shared universal crisis. Not war, not politics, but the sudden absence of the sun itself. But there's more than just darkness. Without sunlight, Earth's atmosphere begins to cool unevenly. Oceans retain heat longer than land, creating violent pressure differences. The result? Superstorms. Winds spiral into chaotic patterns, and weather systems we depend on collapse. Meanwhile, animals lose their rhythm. Nocturnal creatures become disoriented. Migratory birds, guided by the sun, spiral off course. Humans, too, feel the impact. Our biological clocks, tied to the 24-hour light-dark cycle, go haywire. Sleep disorders, anxiety, and mass confusion spread almost as fast as fear itself. And above all, one haunting reality sets in. If the sun does not return, Earth will continue to cool. Within a week, average global temperatures could drop below freezing. Within a year, the oceans would begin to solidify. Astronomers gaze upward, searching for answers. Without the sun's glare, the Milky Way blazes brighter than ever before, a chillingly beautiful sight. The planets are still there, but they drift silently, coldly, around an absent star. In those hours of cosmic clarity, humans confront something primal. The sun is not just a light in the sky, it is the anchor of our very existence. Without it, the laws of nature unravel. And yet, the strange beauty of the universe without daylight forces people to ask, if we had to live in the dark, could we adapt? But here's the twist. In reality, the sun cannot simply vanish. If it did, the consequences would be even worse than darkness. Because the sun doesn't just give us light, it holds us in place with its gravity. Without it, Earth would fly off in a straight line, hurtling through the void at 30 kilometers per second. Within hours, the planets would scatter, the solar system destroyed. So in a way, imagining 24 hours without sunlight is merciful compared to the truth. If the sun really disappeared, life on Earth wouldn't last long enough to panic. But some scientists have posed another question. If not disappearance, what if the sun merely blinked off? Its light extinguished, but its gravity intact? That, they argue, is at least theoretically possible, and it gives us a haunting glimpse into just how fragile our place in the cosmos truly is. For billions of years, the sun has risen without fail. We count on it so completely that we forget what a miracle it is. The thought of its absence, even for a single day, reminds us of a truth both terrifying and humbling. Life on Earth is balanced on the edge of cosmic chance. Perhaps that's the lesson. We are not separate from the sun. We are its children, its creation, its fragile companions. If it were to disappear, so would we. So tomorrow, when you step outside and feel the warmth on your face, remember, the sun is more than a star. It is the heartbeat of our world, and as long as it rises, so does our hope.